Salutations family, welcome back to the Electric Leaf, where it is my goal to assist you with nourishing your mind, your body, and your chakras. I feel so blessed to be here with you all tonight. I wanted to make this video about, is there really anything new about New Age? Because I was triggered. I feel that I've been truly triggered by the whole wave of energy that I'm seeing that is like either or. So I'm hearing a lot of energy about, I'm seeing a lot of energy of I went from witchcraft to Jesus, or from New Age to Jesus. And to me, it just makes absolutely no sense, because I don't understand how you can go backwards I'm only speaking biblically, because biblically speaking, Yeshua doesn't appear until the book of Matthew, right? That's when we see Jesus, in the book of Matthew. The Old Testament is where a lot of the New Age practices come from. And so it's really more so that the New Age is very ancient practices. And I reference the Bible a lot because Christianity was my foundation. I was taught about religion and God and Jesus at a young age, and I always had lots of questions, so I dug around a lot. A lot of them I still haven't answered, and that's why I do this channel, because I want to meet my soul tribe. I want to communicate with you all. So, and I had recorded this video a few days ago, but when I went back and watched the video, I was like, okay, the message is there, but the energy, it lacks love. Where's the love? Because it's really truly more so about love. And when I see the videos of people going from New Age to Jesus, I just wonder, are you truly doing what the Most High is asking you to do? Are you truly doing your spiritual work? Because there's really nothing new about New Age. Let's see, by definition, what does New Age mean? Let's see. By definition, New Age, a broad movement characterized by alternative approaches to traditional Western culture with an interest in spirituality, mysticism, holism, and environmentalism. So I think it's on some level we all should be practicing New Age beliefs, because environmentalism is important, right? We talk about generational wealth. What good is generational wealth if you don't have fresh air and actually nourishing soil and clean fresh water? What good is it? I like to look at, how I've been seeing myself lately is, make sure that you're building more than you're destroying. Destruction, of course, yin yang, it's needed, it's necessary. But of the four elements, you have water, earth, air, and fire. Of those four, fire is a destructive energy, and the rest of those energies are recyclable, buildable, right? Energies. The only thing that is really, really the most strange is the fire element. And I look at that fire element in this term at this moment as the destructive force, and the other three are growing forces. So those three growing forces, that's how we should live our life. That's balance. More growth than destruction. Okay? And so the reason why I say that here is because when it comes to spirituality, mysticism, holism, and environmentalism, I see that a lot of times we are out of balance as far as what we're lifting up, what we're uplifting, what we're giving credit to, and what we're actually holding as valuable in our lives. because mysticism is really, it's not anything to be afraid of if you read the definitions instead of allowing Hollywood to project these interesting and very captivating stories, but just out of alignment with the truth, ideas about certain terminology. You know, mysticism is really aligning yourself with divine frequencies. That's really all it is, you know. But when we think about New Age, we think about crystals, we think about mantras, chakras, we think about, a lot of people will think about witchcraft and things of that nature. But honest and true, you can't put everything in the same boat. Tarot, it all really comes down to intentions. Firstly, we first start to see crystals in the Bible. I'm going to use the Bible as reference because that's what I know. You know, we start to see crystals in the Bible, in the book of Exodus, right? When God directs Moses to put together the breastplate for Aaron, right? And those were crystals. If you're able to look and see that those were crystals. Let's see. Yeah, so we see crystals, 12 gemstones in Aaron's breastplate, and that's in Exodus chapter 28. Okay, we also hear a lot about gold in the Bible as well. Gold is a major conductor. Gold is something that we overlook a lot. Gold is not what we think it is. You know, we're not even using it to its maximum full capacity. We're not even using gold the way it should be used because we don't really understand it fully. But I got a download about gold that was very, very profound, you know, and it led me to wonder, when it comes to our national treasury, we're not supposed to print not $1 more than what we have gold in bars to account for, right? So gold is very important. The full extent, I don't know. I do know it's a conductor. I do know that, okay? So then we'll move on. And I mentioned gold because, you know, I think that we get a little too like woo-woo. We get a little too woo-woo about amethyst, rose quartz, clear quartz, tiger's eye. You know, you start to citrine, we start to generate these stereotypes and these ideas about those things, right? Sometimes. But honestly, what about your gold? What about your silver? You know, we think about incense a lot, right? In Exodus chapter 30, we see them speaking towards an incense altar. You know, Second Chronicles, we are seeing incense and burnt offerings. Okay, all throughout the New Testament, all throughout the Old Testament, we see over and over again sacrificial offerings. We see very sacrificing of animals. We see all of these things, you know. And we also see moon celebrations as well in the Bible. So Psalm 81:3, it speaks about rejoicing at the new moon. Okay, Isaiah 66:23 talks about the new moon. It uses the new moon to reference a way to reference time. Okay, so from new moon to new moon. All right, Genesis 1:14, it talks about the vaulted dome of heaven. Okay, the vaulted dome of heaven is the sky, and we're supposed to look at the sky for signs, for appointed times, days and years, to be as lights, to give light on earth. And it was good. Okay, it was good. Judges 6, we see Gideon communicating with God using dew and a fleece. That's a form of divination. Okay, divination gets a bad rap because when you think of divination, you automatically go to what Hollywood has taught you, the ultimate light workers message, which is that divination is evil, divination is bad. But that is a very, very old definition of divination, because divination is divine. What is divine? Divine is of God. Okay, so we are divine. So when we divinate, it's because we are divinating to communicate with the divine. We are communicating with the Most High God. Anyone who asks God a question and specifies a way to receive the answer is divinating. Okay, so, and here's a good one. I don't have my Bible's over there, but listen, when you grab that Bible and you take it in your hands and you say, God, show me what I need to see. Boom, the pages open up and the verse pops out and it stands out above anything else. That's divination. That's the part of you that lets you know. It should remind you of who you truly are in the heart, of who and what you truly are. Okay, now in Leviticus it talks about you should not divinate. Okay, it says you shall not eat anything with the blood, nor shall you practice divination or soothsaying. Okay, that goes back. Those definitions are not even the same. Now, there are people with spiritual gifts. What are you calling upon when you're divinating? For me, I was led straight to tarot. Okay, just like Gideon with the fleece and the dew, it's the same type of thing. There was one scripture that I just read not too long ago, maybe about a few hours before I did this, and they were actually casting lots down to help them figure out a plan. They were casting lots as a form of divination. You know, there were so many other methods of divination in the Bible that is astonishing, you know. And so the reason why I'm coming to you all today to share this message is because I want you to understand that you can't go from New Age to Jesus because there's no separation. Since I woke up, I just don't have anything to do with the church. But Jesus, Yeshua is Yeshua. You know, to me, he came to show us how to do this. All right, that it's possible. And he's not the only one, because other religions have figures that are very Jesus-like, that is an idol that shows us how to live. Okay, so I think one of the main messages that I get from Jesus is there should be no separation. There should be no division from you and the divine, from you and the Most High. You know, when I think about going through the Son to get to the Father, I really see that as living the life like that, the life of love, the life of justice. If you're going to be ostracized, then let them ostracize you. You know, because that's what happened to Jesus. When Jesus was on the scene, I'm sure he was seen as a witch, a warlock, because he was performing miracles. You know, he was performing miracles and he lived a different life. So I still work with Yeshua, even to this day. I didn't like that God called me to do tarot. I ran from it for a very long time. I did not want to do it. I always thought that I would end up like in a church being a preacher or something like my grandmother. I never in a million years expected that God would lead me to tarot, because all my life I have felt that it was evil. And so when it first started to call me, I was like, no, that's evil. And that's how I saw it. But then the signs and the synchronicities, they just started to come in such a way that I realized that this is God and I can't run from it anymore. And that takes me into my next message. If you started dealing with tarot and you started dealing with crystals and you started dealing with burning sage and stuff like that, and then you felt like you opened up the channel to hell, you feel like all these demons started coming for you, it's only because you weren't called to do it, because that stuff was for the priests. When you see that stuff in the Bible, they even say it several times throughout the Bible that it was one king that they were talking to. I want to say it's King Uzziah. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I want to say that he was burning incense and stuff, and the squad came through and was like, hey, you ain't supposed to really be doing this. This is for the sons of Aaron. Okay, Aaron was the one with the breastplate of crystals. All right, and you can look these things up. You know, you don't always have to follow the crowd. You don't always have to let the crowd decide for you. You don't always have to hear somebody's testimony, because did they read the Bible yet? Like, it's easy to just run back to Jesus because you feel safe there and you feel that Jesus will cover you and Jesus will save you. But the understanding that I get when I read the Bible is that a way was made for us, absolutely, but you are responsible for your own actions. And until we take responsibility for our own actions, then you're always going to be running scared. You're going to be leaving Jesus again soon, until you actually learn how to connect with your inner self, listen to your inner self, make peace with yourself, do your shadow work. Okay, Jesus did his shadow work 40 days and nights fasting. Have you ever fasted? If you love Jesus so much and you want to be like Jesus, had you ever considered fasting? Because that is an ultimate test. That's a different type of test, and you will receive a different type of power and a different type of breakthrough. If you have been called to something and you've not fasted, why would you think that God would call you to a whole different religion if you haven't been awakened to yourself? You got to know yourself first. How much alone time do you spend? How much do you look at other people? I'll say this as well. I also see a lot about witchcraft. Witchcraft is, I mean, what kind of witch are you? You know, I wouldn't be opposed to saying that I'm a witch either, but I'm not claiming anything, because I don't claim a religion of any sort. I like to consider myself wild and full of freedom, okay? Full of freedom. There are some concepts from mostly a lot of religions that resonate with my heart. And so I can really go to church with anybody. I can vibe with anybody, because if the foundation of it is love, I can rock with you. But the problem with witchcraft is, I was talking to a peer about this today. You have a heart space, and that heart space in your brain, it emits an aura. All right? And you only have control of yourself, your thoughts, your actions, your aura, your bubble, right? That's your territory. That's your territory. When you decide that you're going to put a spell on somebody else, or you're going to trap a man, or you're going to, whatever it is, because it's a lot of people out there that want to do love spells. They want to do break them up spells. They want to do, meddling things. You are trespassing, my friend. You are trespassing, and you will have a karmic debt to pay. So I burn candles. I do incantations and spells, but I stay in this bubble right here, okay? Everything that I do is for Nakia. Everything that I say is over Nakia. Let the will be done for me. When I pray for other people, I let them know, hey, I included you in my prayer, and this is what it was. And I made sure that I also included that it's your free will. Let your will be done. Because we forget, you cannot trespass in that way. That's why you got scared. That's why you opened up portals to hell. That's why you felt like you couldn't sleep. That's why you were talking to familiar spirits, because you weren't calling on you. There is nothing that harms you when you're moving in unconditional love. Unconditional love is the power that protects you. There is nobody that can put a spell on you if you're operating out of unconditional love. But when you do those meddling things to reach into somebody else's bubble, when you trespass, you have then also opened up the gateway, the portal, for that same energy to come into your bubble. So I want to just look again real quick, because I want to make sure that I didn't miss anything, because I love you all, and I really don't like the way that I've been seeing a lot of this stuff, like the from New Age to Jesus, because you should have never left Jesus to start with. You should have never left. If that was your foundation, to me, God is the foundation. God is the most high. There's nothing between. We all have different religions. We all have different ideas. We all have different books we read. We all have different stories we adhere to. We all have different cultures. This world is huge. It's larger than the United States. It's larger than Africa. It's huge, okay? It's huge. It's so many islands in the ocean. How would we ever know who all is here? So you mean to tell me that those people who never heard of Jesus are going to hell? It's just not true. You know right from wrong. We all know right from wrong. If you're talking to God and you expect to receive an answer, you have divinated. And that's the way it should be. You shouldn't have a median between you and God. But sometimes we need each other. But when that person that you have gone to has been sent to you from the divine, that's how God works. God works through me to talk to you. God works through you to talk to me. So in those moments, is there really truly a median? Because wherever two or more are joined together, right? There's a presence. Okay, I don't fully believe any religion in the way that it was handed to me, because there's always an unknown. When this thing was put together and created, nobody was there to take a picture. Nobody was there to document it. It was what it was, and it was good. You know, and it's just things that nature will show us, right? Because nature always gives us patterns and signs. The Bible does say that too. So that's ancient knowledge, that Mother Earth will give us signs. Okay, and as we learn these signs and as we learn these patterns, we become more intuitive. And as we become more intuitive, some people might look like they are able to read the future, right? But some of us really might be delivering the messages as we see them, as we receive them. But you know a prophet by whether or not they're messages come to pass, and that's it. And you don't know, because some of those prophets would give messages, right, and they wouldn't come to pass till later. They would pass those messages down, right? We received a message of a promise, right? Not everybody lived all the way through to see those promises come to pass. So it really comes down to that intimacy, your intimate relationship that you have with the Most High God. What is your true relationship with God? What have you truly been called to do? Because everything ain't for everybody. But you can't sit up here and put everything in one box. Like, I can't even claim New Age either. It's just that I'm irritated by it, because I know that a lot of people will come on my channel and make mention of negative things about tarot. But tarot is a tool. Tarot is a tool. If you take this, if I got a message for you today, right? If I have a message for you today, and I think in my mind, in my heart of hearts, that I'm telling you the right thing and I'm doing the right thing, right? Then it is what it is. But sometimes, a lot of times, the cards will help to clarify what it is that you're receiving and whether or not you're in the best of energy to receive it. I know this for a fact. There's nothing negative or there's nothing demonic about tarot except for the intention of the person reading it. And sometimes people don't realize they have demonic intentions, and when I say demonic, I'm talking about your intentions are unclear and they're out of alignment with the divine's plan. Okay? And it happens by mistake quite often, because we end up taking our eyes off of the divine. So when we take our eyes off of the divine and we end up with something that hurts us or something that scares us, that is the rod and the staff that's comforting you to stay in your lane. Okay? So don't misinterpret your experience as being something that says that crystals are evil and tarot is evil. Okay? Because it's lots of preachers at these churches that people also depend on them, just like people depend on a tarot reader. You have to do your own spiritual work. You have to do it for yourself. And until you do it for yourself, you will always be running scared. You will always be going from Jesus to New Age, from New Age to Jesus, and from somewhere else to there and wherever, until you know who you are. And it's well established in the divine. So I would love to hear how you all feel. And I hope that this message reaches you in the best of health and the best mind and love. So until next time, continue to vibrate love and vibrate well.